Welcome back, everybody, to We Talk Film. I'm your host, as always, Barry, joined as always by Clayton. How you going, Clayton?
Oh, Barry, I'm doing good. I'm doing all right.
Good.
How
That's
are
good.
you today?
I'm getting by. You know, Australia's like summer right now. Everyone, the rest of the world, and everything like that, and it is hot. It is hot. And we're feeling it, that's for sure.
It is very warm. It's over 40 up here where I am. So it's been a long day.
Yeah, and my power went out today, so that was great.
Yeah. See, now that would have been extra fun. We're having great fun here, but we persevere. We're doing the podcast without power.
We get by. Yeah, without power. Somehow we're managing to do it. I literally have a guy at a treadmill right now. He's just going.
Under your desk, you've got like one of those bicycles.
Yeah,
you're keeping it going.
Everything. Gotta get my exercise in as well, you know.
Yeah. So if this episode ends up cutting short, we know why. Barry died.
Yeah.
But hopefully that doesn't happen.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully, well, before Barry's power cuts out and the episode ends, let's zip on over to the news.
The news.
Oh, yeah. We had a bunch of news this week, considering last week was pretty dry over the holiday break, but we've come into the new year fairly strong because we've got a bunch new announcements, mostly. The first one is we got a trailer reveal.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh boy. See,
we don't talk about that show.
Season.
We don't talk about that show. That's the one show we don't talk about.
Okay.
This entire segment has been bleeped.
Cut this from the thing. That would be really funny if I go onto YouTube.
It's just gonna be bleeped. It's just bleeped. It's not cut. It's just bleeped.
Like
this entire time. They don't know what we're talking about, so it's fine.
It could be anything. You're gonna subtitle it with like something else. Okay. We got a bunch of announcements. Okay, let's go down the list because there's a whole bunch. The first one is Stranger Things Season 5 is in production. A bunch of photos were shown. They're starting work on it. It's getting done. It's the final season of the show. Hopefully it's good. I liked quite a fair bit of Stranger Things. It's had its ups and downs, but for the most part, it's been fairly good, entertaining, refreshing new show, for the most part. And I'm very excited to see how it ends, because it's been 4 seasons of the same thing really happening over and over. So I'm very excited for something different and for the show to end in a fun way. Hopefully it's good. We will check that out when that comes out, probably next year at the earliest.
Yep.
Hasn't got a date yet, but that's cool.
Sometime in 2025.
If we're lucky, who knows? But also, Star Wars. Oh boy, they've thrown everything at us. We got Ahsoka Season 2 is entering development. That's been confirmed that they're doing that.
Yay!
Sure.
I'm happy.
I mean, first season was alright.
I mean, it was expected.
Of course it was. I mean, as long as it's not like Kenobi Season 2. Boba Fett Season 2. Everything that's like successful is getting a second season, so I'm okay with that. It's not like they're giving the shitty shows the second seasons. So, all right, cool. Let's get another season of Ahsoka. But we're also getting a new Star Wars movie, and this is the first movie since Rise of Skywalker. It's a Mandalorian and Grogu movie titled The Mandalorian and Grogu, and it's entering production towards the end of this year, with Jon Favreau set to direct. And that's all we know. It seems like it's just Mando Season 4, but a movie.
Sure. So are they still doing Season 4 of The Mandalorian?
I don't know. We don't know yet. I don't know. It's hard to say, because I thought the shows were building up to like a movie in like 2028 or something, but it seems like a Mando movie is also happening, because they're doing the Thrawn thing. And maybe this is also setting up. Maybe this is kind of what Season 4 was supposed to be, and they're like, let's just make it a movie. I don't know.
Okay.
We don't know, and I don't know if we ever will. Considering Disney and their fun little keepy secrets. So
yes, a lot of secrets.
Oh well, yeah. So moving away from Star Wars, We got a bunch of casting announcements for The Last of Us Season 2, a show that we're both very excited for.
Yes.
And we were both very excited to see who they cast. We've gotten pretty much all of the main characters listed off. With young Mazzino cast as Jesse, who will be in the show for about 10 minutes if it lines up with the game, but that's cool. We got Caitlin Dever cast as Abby. And she was originally one of the roles that people wanted to, one of the fan castings for Ellie. Originally, people thought she'd do a good job as Ellie.
Okay, yeah.
And so she's come in as Abby, and I think it works. Her face looks pretty similar. Sure. Hopefully it's well done. And then we also got Isabella Merst cast as Dina, who is also in the show for a little bit. I don't know.
See,
they're in it.
People. That's the thing. I don't know much about part 2, the game. Because that's the thing. I haven't played the video games at all. So I'm only going off the first season still. I'm just like, I know these people. And the only one I know is Abby because everyone made such a big hoo-ha about it when she came out in the video game. So
that's the thing, is I have only played half of the second Last of Us. I have it. I just haven't gotten around to finishing it since it's come out. I just played half of it and just was like,
it's like
I'll get around to it eventually.
That's it.
Yeah, but it's also like, okay, the story is the worst part of the game, but it's not bad. So the story is a solid 6 or 7 out of 10. But everything else is bloody 10 out of 10. The gameplay alone for part 2 of The Last of Us is amazing. And I really want to see how they can adapt that sort of element to the show, because that would be really cool to see. Considering now they'll have a bigger budget, bigger cast, bigger everything. Considering the first season's winning awards and is doing really well. But yeah, they're going to get a bunch more money thrown at it. And I'm all for it because it was good. So make more. That should be our motto. We were talking about how we should have a motto. More. If it's good, make more.
If it's good, make more. Done.
And can we coin that? Get our producers onto that.
Okay,
producers, if you're listening, coin that.
Yeah. Make shirts right now.
Make shirts? We should make shirts. I'm going to make shirts. I'm going to do that. All right. Speaking of shirts and terrible costume ideas, we got a reveal for Madam Web's costume for that movie.
Oh, no. You sent me the picture of that.
Via a shampoo bottle. And then I think they revealed it, like, just officially.
Oh, wow. And
all right. I'm like, it looks silly. That's what I wrote in my notes. Is it just looks silly?
It looks silly.
It kind of looks. It looks like the comic book version a little bit, but it's also she's nothing like the comic book version of Madam Web, so I don't think it works anyway. It's a this shitty movie isn't even out yet, and I don't want to watch it.
No.
Bad. Oh, man. You think they would have learned after Morbius, but no, they're doing Craven and this, and they both look awful.
Well, that's the thing. I'm looking forward to, the next Venom, which obviously is the same company and stuff like that. I don't mind Tom Hardy as Venom.
I don't mind it, but it's just its own thing. And I didn't even watch Let There Be Carnage. It's one that I skipped and just haven't gotten around to watching as well. So I don't really care about the Sony Spider-Man universe without Spider-Man, because we had the first Venom, which was entertaining, and that's the high point. That's it. Didn't watch Morbius. Didn't watch the second Venom.
Morbius is bad. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I didn't go and see it at the cinemas, but when I watched it, I was just like, all right, I've seen worse Marvel movies.
I mean, there's plenty of bad Marvel movies, and it looks like Madam Web is set to join them. Unless it somehow surprises us. I don't know. There's a slither of hope that it might be entertaining. I don't know. I very much doubt it. They took all of the good parts and didn't put it in the trailer. And that's the other thing. Did you see the little title reveal trailer thing that they did with some of the worst explosion effects? I forgot to send it to you.
Oh, yes. Yes, I saw someone online. Yep. No, basically there was this CGI animator who has done some big stuff for Marvel and everything like that for the CGI stuff. And then he was making fun of it. He was just like, what the fuck is this shit?
It was a PNG explosion on one of the letters.
Yep. It
so
literally looked
funny.
like one of those green screen packs
Oh,
you get off YouTube and like put that on there, chroma key
yeah.
it in. It was so
I
bad.
could do better on my iPad.
Yeah.
Go over to my iPad and do it better. Oh, it's so funny. Madam Web. Yeah, I can't wait to check that out because it's gonna be bad. All right, moving away. This is something that I'm actually really excited for. Considering I'm a big fan of this reboot franchise, Star Trek, specifically J.J. Abrams' trilogy that he did. It's getting a prequel. Um, it's in the works. It's supposedly set decades before the 2009 film, and it's going to be directed by Toby Haynes, who did a lot of work on Andor, directing and I think
Okay.
writing some of it. But he definitely
Yeah.
directed some of the Andor stuff. But that's promising. I feel like
That
the
is
guys who
promising.
did Andor is a good choice to do Star Trek, considering
Yeah.
like
Well, that's the thing.
yeah,
That'd be like
Andor
a
was pretty
different take
close.
on like Star Trek then a bit more.
Yeah,
They want to go a bit more grittier with it, which would be
it's
kind of cool to see.
supposedly going to be like an origin story for Star Trek in a way. So I'm not quite sure if that means it's going to be like a humanity's first forte into the stars, like a Star Trek 4 or 6, whichever one they time traveled in, whichever one
Yeah.
that one was, or if it's going to be more like what Enterprise was, where it's kind of just the very start of the Star Trekky shows. I'm not sure. We don't
Could be.
know.
We'll find out.
It's in the work. I'm really excited because I love those Star Trek reboot movies. I like pretty much all the Star Trek movies, even the terrible ones. So I'm very excited for Star
Yeah, I'm
Trek.
not a big
More
Star Trek fan. I watched Next Gen and then the Chris Pine films, and I was just like,
Yeah,
I don't mind them. And then that was it for me.
that's the thing. Yeah, Star Trek. You know how the Star Wars rule is there's 50% good and 50% bad? Star Trek is about 80% terrible and 20% good. So it's like
Okay.
you're not missing much. You skip every
Yeah.
third show and you're still fine. Like
All right.
it's perfectly good. But yeah, all right. What else have we got here? Oh yes. 28 Days Later is probably one of my favorite zombie movies ever made. And then
Yep.
that got a sequel, 28 Weeks Later, which wasn't as good, but it was still alright. Well, it's getting a third movie called 28 Years Later. They're very original with their titles, but
Very original. It has a
it's
theme
entering
to
into
it. You got to keep the
development.
theme.
I mean, I get it. Sure, it works. It's whatever. It's a zombie movie. It's in development, and apparently it could mark the start of a new trilogy. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, part 1, part 2, part
With
3.
it,
That's how they're gonna do it.
yeah, because you know for a fact it's not going to be 28 decades later and then 28 centuries later because that doesn't work.
I mean,
Yeah,
it
it'll be
would be
part
kind
one,
of
two,
cool.
three,
Yeah, but it
or it'll
would
be
most likely be
28
like,
years later too. Yeah.
yeah, it would most likely be what
More
everyone likes to
zombies.
do at the moment is part 1, part 2,
Yeah.
part 3, that type of thing.
Could be. It could be good. I don't know. I have
Yeah,
no
well,
other
it's the
information
same
about it.
original team. Isn't
Yeah, apart from that.
Danny Boyle still writing and directing
Yes,
it? So
yeah, it's still Danny Boyle and whatever the other guy's name was that helped Poe make it. Those two.
yeah.
It's still all the same creative team behind the show.
Okay.
The movie. But I don't know. It could be good. Could not be.
Yeah.
We have to wait and see. Sure.
We'll find
Why not?
out.
I guess we will find out. All right, and then another third movie. This is another third sequel. Third movie. It's the second sequel, I guess. Top Gun 3 is also in the works. With everyone that did Maverick just kind of coming back and doing another one.
Nice.
It made too much money, so they're making another.
Oh yeah.
There you go. That's
need
Top
to.
Gun 3. The
Cool.
search for more money.
The search for
it could be good.
Maverick.
Yeah. I hope that it has more plane action, considering that was the coolest part of Maverick. Because I feel like we got all the drama out of the way in that one. We can just have like a straight, proper, realistic action movie with the third one. That would be really cool.
Just like a whole bunch of dogfights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That would
the whole
be kind
thing.
of cool.
Like, because all right, some of the best dogfighting I've seen is probably like something like Dunkirk did it really well, and that's the best part of that film is all the plain dogfighty stuff.
Yeah.
If Maverick did something like that, Maverick 2 or whatever they call it, that could be really cool, and I'm very much all for more Air Force action because I love watching that stuff on screen, and it's severely lacking from everything except for like the Top Gun films and the occasional Dunkirk. You don't get a lot of plain action.
do more of that.
Do it well. Yeah, and do it well. Yeah. If you're gonna make more, make it good. There we go. We said the thing.
We said the thing.
We said the thing. Okay. All right. Last story for the week. This is a wacky one because I did not see this coming. This is very much out of the blue, out of left field. I saw this on
wacky
Instagram
stories again.
because wacky stories again. New year, new whack. Quote us on that as well. Put it on
that's
t-shirt.
another tagline. Yeah.
New year, new whack. There you go. That was awful. All right. So I went on Instagram earlier in the week, and stumbled across this, and it turns out this was the only place that this was promoted, because Paramore, the band, right? They've nuked all of their social medias due to some record licensing issue, yada yada. They pretty much deleted all of their social media accounts except for their Instagram. But they deleted all of the posts and things, except for one that they just put up. And it's teasing a new album coming from A24. They're putting out like a proper record album featuring covers of the Talking Heads' Stop Making Sense movie, like that as a cover album, with some music video stuff to go along with it. It shows the Paramore lady opening a box and pulling out the David Byrne suit. And then it starts into the first 10 seconds of their cover of Burning Down the House. So Paramore are covering Burning Down the House on the album. And then there's going to be a dozen other bands doing the other songs as well. And that's all we know about it. We don't know who's on it or when it's really coming out. But I'm excited because it sounded cool. And Paramore were doing a cover really well. They did the Burning Down the House really well. So I'm all for more Talking Head stuff, considering we seem to be getting a shit ton of Talking Head stuff. Like, just keeps coming out.
Pretty cool. Yeah, that would be actually kind of cool to see.
It would be cool, and I'm definitely gonna have a listen to it when it comes out. But that brings us to the end of the news this week. Yeah, Paramore.
That's the end of the news.
Yeah. Look at that.
Good old Paramore, still relevant in 2024. Wow.
Yeah,
so was Green Day, I suppose. True. What? It's less than. Sorry, I have to get. They're putting out an album in what? Less than 8 days. It's basically 2004 again. I'm reliving 2004.
We're getting Paramore. We're getting Green Day. We're getting new Talking Heads stuff. What is? It's like, I don't know, man. This is a little.
It's weird. 2004. We've gone back 20 years.
Yeah. Wow. That was 20 years ago, Barry. I was alive. That's insane. You were too. You're old.
Yeah. I would have been. Yeah. Wow. I would have been 6.
Yep.
And that's actually when I got the American Idiot album CD. It was my first ever CD.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's a good CD to have.
That is a good CD.
We have 3 copies of that CD in my house. There is 3 copies of American Idiot.
I'm pretty sure there's one in each room.
One in every CD player permanently.
One in every CD player. Yeah. It's glued in there forever.
You break the disc drive so it just can't take it out. Okay, Barry.
Well, back onto topic. Where don't we talk music? Where do we talk film? But today we're talking about a TV show that just came out on Disney Plus. Here's a little clip for today's episode.
You and I are the same. So, who's the monster?
So yes, we are starting off the new year with another Disney show. This time it is Echo, their new live action show on the backbones of the Hawkeye series, which obviously follows the Maya's character, who was the mute person in that show.
Yeah.
And she was just there, and they're like, hey, we're going to make an entire TV show about her. And here it is. And yeah, not a great start to MCU stuff this year, or the live action stuff anyway. This was this was bad.
Yeah, all right. So let's go back to Hawkeye. Let's go through this in the chronological order that is what we know about Echo.
Hawkeye.
Exactly. Hawkeye as a show was so mid, but it had
Yeah.
some great performances in it. Haley Steinfeld's Kate Bishop stole the show. Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin showed up in that, and that was our reveal of, oh, look, Daredevil stuff's alive in this universe. And he was good in that, but he didn't get to do much and kind of got just dogged at the end because Echo, who was the villain for most of that until having a change of heart and shooting Kingpin in the face, but that's about all she did. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're getting an Echo show. And I was not really looking forward to it because I was like, okay, this character that I didn't really care about and didn't really do much. Okay, why are they getting a show? Sure, all right, whatever. And then we got a trailer like 6 months ago or whatever it was. And I was actually kind of excited because this was a really good trailer. It had all of the best bits of the show, and I mean that literally
the best bits
in the trailer. And it made it out to be a really gritty, intense Daredevil style, well, literally because he's in it, Daredevil style show, and I was hyped because I thought this was going to be great. And then I watched it.
Oh yeah,
and I watched.
We both watched it. You forced me to watch it. This was a hard watch to get through.
I apologize posthumously for making you watch that.
Oh yeah,
because,
yeah. Well, that's the thing.
Boy.
We both saw that trailer, and even I was a bit like, "All right, this looks good." I can see they were trying to go for the more mature approach. They were definitely trying to go for that Daredevil approach and everything like that. And then, you hear all the behind-the-scenes stories of the making of this show and everything like that for it.
Yeah.
And apparently, even as well, Disney didn't want to release this show. This is why we got all 5 episodes all on the same day, so they could just get it out there.
Oh boy.
And I was even surprised by that because at the moment on Disney Plus, they're also doing the new Percy Jackson show, which is all right. But then they released this at the exact same time that I think the 4th episode of that show came out. And I was just like, okay, that's really bizarre. And then, this entire season is out. And even I've already forgotten the majority of the stuff in it because I watched all 5 episodes and I'm just like, I don't want to talk about this shit.
Well, that's the thing, is the show itself is 5 episodes, but only about 2 of those episodes have things that matter in it.
Yeah.
To the show itself. This is the most bare bones piece of shit Marvel thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
This is the worst MCU show. I preferred Secret Invasion over this, and that was dog shit, but at least that started off good. Like, we got a good couple episodes before that went to shit. This one was terrible the whole way through. This show had maybe 3 minutes of good stuff, and 2 of that was because Daredevil was on screen doing an awesome fight, and then we never saw him again or anything as cool as that.
Oh yeah, and that was the first episode that they showed that, and I was totally expecting them to be like, all right, they've got to do a bit more Daredevil than just what they were showing on TV and all the trailers. No, that is it. It's the one fight, and then that's it.
It's one fight. It's a flashback too, so it doesn't even matter. It's set way before Hawkeye, way before She-Hulk, any of them. It's just
it was set during the events of the snap, the blip.
Yeah, during the blip, which is cool because then it reveals Daredevil was alive during that time. He wasn't blipped.
Yeah.
So, if anything, we got that out of that 2-minute segment. And the fight scene itself was actually pretty good. Charlie Cox obviously kills it with his stunt work. But, okay. The rest of this show. Let me give you the rundown, and we can talk through what happens. Okay, so basically, Echo, or Maya Lopez, Aliquia Cox, returns home to her small little Midwestern town to her family because she's on the run from Kingpin. Oklahoma, that's right. Yeah, so she's on the run because Kingpin wants to get her because he got shot in the face and he didn't die because he's a Kingpin. Which is somehow like the most believable part of the show is that Kingpin survived that. And it's not. It's stupid. He should be dead. Look, he is the Kingpin, and it's very hard to kill the Kingpin. He got shot in the head. He should be dead. But
gotta use him as a villain.
Now, that's it. It's so stupid. Oh man, it could have been revealed that she just shot him in the leg as a mercy or something, but no. We don't see the shot on screen. It could have done that. But they just had to make it stupid.
Yep.
Stupid, which is the show in general. So yeah, she returns home because she's on the run from a psycho mass murdering gangster dude. So she thinks the best thing to do is go hide out with her family, and let the bad guys know where everyone she cares about is.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. I totally forgot about that. But I suppose also in the first episode as well.
Oh,
there's this whole sequence because obviously it is to do with Native American culture and everything like that with Echo's character and stuff like that. There is this whole thing. Is it the Kahori thing? I'm not too sure if it's the Kahori thing because it's a totally different thing now that I thought it was Kahori, but I'm just like So basically,
it shouldn't be.
In the beginning of the first episode, it's like these alien mud people or whatever. They live in a cave,
made of clay,
and they see this water. They're made of clay, and then they were actually the original indigenous people in America. It all goes down to Maya's bloodline and stuff like that. And she has powers now in the show. Wow.
We will get to the powers. All right, let's talk about the Native American element because I have a huge problem with this. And the most part is that Disney are shoehorning the wrong thing. Did you see the reports that they were talking about making Kahori and Echo related as well? They were going to do that. Like that was planned to be in the works. Is they were going to connect those two characters that way? Well, they're not even from the same like part of the country. They're completely different people. Like Echo's Choctaw and Kahori's Mohawk. They're completely different people with different beliefs. And Disney want to just smash them together so they can cash that in. I hate that. That's awful.
Yeah.
Like that. As soon as I saw that they were doing the Kahori thing with the same sort of elements.
By the way, people that don't know who the Kahori is, it's from a Marvel What If, the animated stuff. Go and watch that or last week's episode of the podcast because we talked about What If last week.
Because that's good. That did it well. That did the Native American element well.
Yeah, that did it really well.
This show kind of shoehorns it and just throws it to the back burner. But before we do continue, I would like to mention what the show does really well. And that is the whole sign language death portrayal part. I felt like that was actually really done really well. That was like good. I really enjoyed how much of it was actually in sign language, subtitled and silent. That felt really cool. And I kind of wish it did more of that. Like, I wish entire episodes of this were silent from Echo's perspective or done some wacky stuff like that with flashes of sound. But it didn't go all the way. No. Which it definitely should have. But what it did was really cool. And I do like the use of sign language. And it also allows this show to be watched entirely without subtitles if you know sign language. Because whenever they're doing sign language, it's visible on the screen. I don't know if you noticed that, but they did that on purpose. So that you could watch just with the hand movements, and I thought that was really cool as well.
That's good, yeah.
But the fact that is the only good part of the show is awful, because from a storytelling perspective, this is dog water. Like,
yeah, oh God, and that's the thing. This had potential to be a good show. This was Marvel's first, MA rated. Is it MA in Australia? Well, I know it's MA in America.
Yeah.
MA rated Disney Plus show that they made and everything under the MCU banner and everything like that. And I was hoping this year we'll start the ball rolling out. It's like, okay, they got to go because obviously we got Deadpool coming out this year, which is going to be R rated. And they're planning to do Daredevil and Punisher and bringing back those characters and wanting to do them as like a more mature approach and like MA rating and everything like that. And then I was like, okay, they got to maybe hopefully try and spice it up a bit and bring a bit more mature approach to it all and go with a bit more darker storyline and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then we just got the most generic, pointless bullshit storyline ever in anything Marvel has ever made. Like this story, what they showed with these characters and stuff like that. And I feel so sorry for these characters and especially Vincent D'Onofrio's as Kingpin being forced into this show, being being like, oh, we've got Kingpin the show, you have to watch it now. And same thing as Daredevil's like appearance and stuff like that. Because it was just pointless. The entire arc of the show, the story and everything like that was just absolutely pointless.
Yeah. Nothing happens. This entire show ends exactly where it starts, with no character development from any single character. It is the most pointless thing ever. Like, you can watch one of those little spin-off bonus features from an Avengers DVD that has more plot significance than this Disney Plus show. Yeah. I'm so annoyed with this. And when I watched it, I messaged you and I was like, it's not too bad. I went back and rewatched some stuff and took some notes and had a look. Yeah, no, this is awful. Should never have been released. Disney should have scrapped it and left it blank. Put it as a whole. Cut this down into an hour and a half. Maybe then it would be watchable, but it's so stupid.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It should have been like a Disney Plus movie or something like that.
A special, like Werewolf by Night.
Yeah, exactly,
like, that
something
cool.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, can you... All right, we'll get into what we would have done differently towards the end. Because we can dig into this.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, so Maya Lopez as a character, most bland, boring, straight-faced person you'll ever meet.
Yes.
But the show itself throws her aside and pretty much has everyone else do all of the important stuff apart from the fights. That's it. Yeah. All of the plot is up to her, decided around everyone else. Everyone just tells her things, and then that happens. It's so stupid. And then there's the MA element. This show didn't need to be MA. Everything that was MA about it looked awful. Did you see some of the blood effects?
Yeah.
The supposed gore? It was stupid. Take it out. It looked so bad.
Yeah.
It was so bad. I feel like they threw that on last minute and did the CGI the week before it came out just so they could sell it as gritty. Yeah. Oh, okay. What happens next? Nothing. Kingpin shows up and he's kind of whiny. He's very whiny.
He's just like,
stupid.
I'm alive and I want you to come back as the Queen Pin. That's right. That was a whole thing.
That's a literal line.
That's a literal line. I wanted to be the Queen Pin. And then it's just like, okay, I laughed at that point. And then, basically Maya refuses to do that and being like, no. And then he's just like, well, I'm going to get emotional about it and kidnap your family, which then leads us to our last episode. Man.
You'd think, Kingpin, who, she shot him in the face.
Oh, yeah.
Would be a little bit more hostile towards her.
You would think so.
And considering it's Kingpin, the same Kingpin from that Daredevil show where he was an absolute menace to literally everyone, coming in and then acting like a lost puppy towards Echo, it's so weird and unnatural because, like, everything else we've seen of this Kingpin has been completely different, and now all of a sudden we get flashbacks and views of a different sort of Kingpin that doesn't work. I feel so bad for Vincent because he is Kingpin. But they gave him they didn't write his character well. It's awful.
No.
And nothing happens.
Basically, yeah.
Then, he kidnaps her family, and then using the power of her ancestors, she makes him change his ways, kind of, but not really, because then he immediately goes back to doing what he was doing prior.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that scene.
Ancient magic.
Ancient magic to get into his head of when he was a kid and where he murdered his father. And then he just leaves?
Yeah.
And nothing happens?
The ancestors possess the grandma and the grandma punches someone too. That happens.
That was a thing.
So this show throughout has flashbacks to Echo's ancestors. The whole thing is the ancestors echo through her some sort of mystical thing keeping her from harm.
That's where we get the name from.
Yeah, which is stupid because they keep her from harm, but only when it's plot significant. Which is, again, so stupid. That trope of your ancestors are protecting you, but only when you really need it and not all of the other times you could have used it. It's so stupid. I hate that. If you're going to do it every single time. Make her unbeatable in that sort of way. Or don't give her weird magic powers that she does not need and definitely shouldn't have because it makes her so much less interesting as a character.
Yep.
With shitty magic that heals people.
Well, that's the thing, because obviously even in Hawkeye and stuff like that, she didn't have any of that whatsoever. And then it was just like straight up like just a thing they put into the first episode. And you're just like, where did this come from? It's like, why? Why?
Awful. And then there's the flashbacks themselves. They're so bad. Did you see the action in those? I hate it. You know, I one of the worst tropes that I see in time and time again. Mando season 3 was a big, like had a big problem with this. Is the whole character can stand there and shoot everyone without being shot themselves trope.
Yes.
Because they're the main guy and it's the hero thing. One of the ancestors stands up on a log and shoots like 20 people that don't shoot back because you know the whole ancestral power, girl power thing that they do. It's so bad.
And then one of them before that is when they were playing like lacrosse or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And stuff like the whole sporting game and weird polo thing and everything like that.
Because
it just made zero sense.
And also, oh man, you could tell that it was very much modern day casting because some of those people were not 100% Native American in that cast, in that group.
There was a guy, I'm pretty sure you could go back and watch this. There's a guy, I'm pretty sure in the background where he was straight up white. And I'm pretty sure there was another person actually wearing normal clothing.
I think you're right because it looks so bad. It's the whole modernized take, and I get that that's a lack of finding proper cast for that, but there is a way to do it, and it's not weird lacrosse.
Yeah, that entire scene was so bad.
The ancestors can save you, but they can also make you win in lacrosse. Like, like, where does the? It's so
like,
bad.
Why?
I hate it. It's such a. Okay, so yeah, nothing else happens. That's the show. Do you want to? Okay, how would they have done this better, Barry? I feel like we can go straight to that.
Yeah.
How would you have done the Echo show?
How would I have done Echo better? Well, first of all, I wouldn't have done it as a show. I probably would have skipped this entire character in the first place. The reason being is because she came off Hawkeye, which is not the most well-received MCU show in the first place, where she wasn't even one of the main bigger characters in that show in the first place.
No.
So I would still have kept the character but left her to be added in stuff in the future. I wouldn't have actually done a show dedicated to her at this point in time because personally to me, like there's been not enough character progression or not enough interest in this character and the way we even saw in Hawkeye. Like out of all the characters in Hawkeye and stuff like that, why did they do an entire show, 5 episodes about her?
Every character in Hawkeye, apart from her, was more interesting than her. I would have watched the hell out of a Kate Bishop show or a Kingpin show.
Yeah.
Like any of those guys. A Ronin flashback show would have been amazing. Anything like that.
That would have been great.
Literally any character except for Echo. Even if you brought Echo into something else, like you said, it'd be great.
Yeah.
Like if you did, I don't know, a Kate Bishop show, tying onto the Marvels or whatever they want to do, and have Echo show up in that. Like that.
Well, even cool. As well, because they currently are working on the next Daredevil show, which at the moment, and this was absolutely great news to see, that apparently the entire creative team of that, all the writers, all the directors got fired. They all got you're out because they scrapped the entire show because it was absolute shit. Yeah. And then they announced today that they're getting the original cast who also played the girl and the other guy with him.
Karen and Foggy.
Karen and Foggy
coming back.
The original Karen and Foggy are coming back, which they just announced. Yes. And I would have then added Echo into that show as like a character, and she was like doing her own stuff. She could have been like in one episode type thing as like a setup for a villain, or just doing her own thing. That would have been great.
Oh, can you imagine?
Unfortunately, we got this show.
All right, so yeah, imagine if they did the Daredevil show first. Echo just shows up in that on the run from Kingpin, and that's how Daredevil kind of goes back into the whole Kingpin's back around hunting people. Kind of has to help Echo escape, and that ends with her getting back to her family in Oklahoma on the run, while Daredevil goes after Kingpin.
Yeah.
Immediately, it's a more interesting story than the entirety of Echo. Like, there you go. And then afterwards, you can do the whole Echo show. Like, because now we've had that extra low point for Echo. Echo hasn't had a low point. It's all been stagnant. It's
always been the same level. Like her dad died, and then that was it through the entire thing.
Yeah, and we see that again in Echo. The first episode is all flashbacks we've seen from Hawkeye. It's like it's the Hawkeye show again. It was
like why?
Why wasn't it a 4-episode show?
Yep. Well, that's the thing. It was another thing as well. This could have been
know.
done as like a simple hour-and-a-half Disney Plus film type thing. You know how you get those movies
like
that go
Werewolf by
like
Night.
that used to go straight to like DVD instead of going to the cinemas.
Yeah.
It should have been something like that. It should have gone straight to Disney Plus. Keep it short, keep it simple, and just be like, here's a character. That's our own thing.
It's under a different banner too. It's under Marvel Spotlight, whatever that means.
Yeah. That's where all the R-rated and MA stuff's going.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care. They should just. Does it need another banner? But who cares?
Yeah, it's Disney.
Yeah, but they could have definitely done this as an hour and a half or a whatever movie. Like call it a special presentation. Marvel Spotlight, whatever, yada yada. Do the Werewolf by Night, and just have it be an hour and a half of her reconciling with her family, sort of thing. Just have it be an emotional drama piece with barely any action. It didn't need any of it. It could have just been well written. Or have her on the run and actually be on the run instead of just sitting on a roof eating sandwiches for 4 hours.
True.
But yeah.
Well, that's the thing. They could have like censored it in the town she was from, right? If they did this as a short film and be like, oh, there is like a gang that's related to Kingpin that has like kind of taken ownership of this town that she used to live in as a kid type thing. And now she comes back. Yeah, Roadhouse. There we go. Yeah. Roadhouse. Should have done it like Roadhouse. Yeah.
Perfect. Like that works.
They shouldn't have had Kingpin. They should not have had added Kingpin into this. I'm sorry. They should wait until Daredevil.
Because he doesn't do anything in this show until the end when it's revealed he wants to run for mayor. That could have been the post-credit stinger of the show and not have him in it at all. At the end of it, it's just news gets back to him that Echo beat up all these dudes in a bar. And Kingpin's like, oh, well, I guess I'm running for mayor. And that's your end teaser. That's what we would have needed. And we also didn't need Daredevil, even though it was the coolest part. It just made me sad because we didn't need it. It made no sense for the character or the story. We could have scrapped that. I would have scrapped pretty much all of this show or done it different. It's do it as Roadhouse. Do it an hour and a half Roadhouse.
There we go. Remake it again.
Have that gang. Yeah, there you go. Roadhouse with a Native American deaf element. That's immediately really interesting. That could have been cool. Even if it was an hour and a half of silent film as well. So like you only know what's happening
it's more from the perspective of from her type thing.
Because that would add a whole nother element to her like figuring out who the bad guys are and what they want. Like that's not really been done and definitely hasn't been done in the Marvel banner. That would have been cool, and that would have been a really cool special presentation, considering, Werewolf by Night did the black and white thing. This could have done the silent thing.
Oh, yeah.
But no, Disney and Marvel are too stupid. We've come up with better ideas in the last 20 minutes than they have in the last 4 years. Oh, my God.
So, do you want to give our rating on the show, and then we can talk about more of the MCU as a whole?
Not really.
So,
what do you give Echo out of 10, Barry?
I give this a 2 out of 10. I feel like that's fair. That's the thing. This is probably the most forgettable MCU show that they've done. That's the thing. I thought, like, I went to go back because you said that this is probably worse than Secret Invasion when you messaged me the other day about it. I was like, so I watched it all and I was like, this was bad. This was bad. And then I went to go back and watch a few clips of like Secret Invasion and stuff like that. I was like, no, Echo was worse than Secret Invasion.
At least Secret Invasion had good moments and some of the dialogue in that was really good. The first like 3 episodes of Secret Invasion are amazing. But then the show became terrible towards the end, which is disappointing. But no, Echo was just bad start to finish. And I hate that because like there was potential for a good story here, but this was not the way to do it. And I feel really bad for just everyone involved because it seems like the team really cared about all of the elements of it for the most part.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because like the entire cast literally learnt for the actress
sign language for it.
Yeah, or learn sign language for it. For the actress and everything like that. And it's like that's such a cool element to show. And like this thing, they could have like a whole silent side to it, and just like adapted that and gone with that flow of it. But no, they didn't want to do anything creative or anything like that. And it was just like it was a wasted opportunity. I feel like with this show.
I feel like Disney should just remove it from Disney Plus, like they did with Willow.
Do it as a tax write-off. There we go.
Yeah, do it as, and then even just cut it down into an hour and a half silent film. Actually do it properly, because you can probably tweak a nice little special out of this that would be easier to watch than this dog shit. Or just forget about it entirely because it has no plot significance to the MCU. There is no reason to watch this show. I'm probably going to give it a 2 as well, and that is 2 points purely for the effort they went for some of the really cool, interesting elements, like the whole sign language. For the most part, just the sign languagey sort of stuff. But,
just the sign language sort of stuff. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, 2 out of 10, 2 out of 10. I think that might be our lowest rated thing that we've ever rated.
We're coming in harsh this year. 2024, we're going down. You know, you and I, we're diploma graduates now of screen and media. We can start talking about the harsh things. We're qualified now in this industry. Suck it, Kevin Feige.
Yeah, Kevin Feige. Where's your diploma of film and whatever it's called, screen and media?
Yeah.
You don't have one. Sorry. We're more qualified than Kevin Feige.
We're definitely. He's got the experience. Definitely a lot of experience. But talking about Kevin Feige though, because we've had this discussion, obviously, over the podcast over the last year. We have talked about Marvel so many times and everything like that.
Every week.
At this point in time, Marvel, it is in such a mix conflux of what the fuck is going on. Because at this point in time, the only thing to have a certified release date this year, out of everything that's coming out, is Deadpool 3. All the shows and stuff like that actually don't have a release date yet. So we're not even sure if they're coming out this year. No. We've just been told sometime this year. But the only movie and the only thing is Deadpool 3. And that's got me thinking, Clayton, if Kevin Feige came to you, you just got a phone call one day, just being like, oh, it's me, it's Kevin Feige, Clayton. We're wanting you to come and work for Marvel, and you're gonna write everything. I don't have a bring. Hi, I'm Kevin Feige. Hi, Clayton.
Oh, hello, Kevin Feige.
How you doing? How you doing, boy? You doing well? You doing well? Have you watching all the Marvel stuff? You watch Echo? Did you love Echo?
Maybe. Yes, Kevin Feige. I loved Echo.
Okay, that's good. Because I want you to write all of Marvel for me for the next 10 years. I want you to write everything involving all the franchises and everything. I want you to be the new face of Marvel. All right, you got that, kid? I'm leaving. I'm going to an
Surely
island
you
somewhere.
Can't be serious.
Oh no, I'm hanging up now. I'm going. Bye-bye. You're in charge now.
No, I don't want to. Okay. All right. So Kevin Feige just called me up. You guys heard that live on camera. That was actually Kevin Feige.
Himself.
That was actually just how he sounds. He puts on a voice for the cameras. Not many people know that. That's how he sounds. You heard it here first, folks. How would I do the MCU? Well, that's the thing.
What would you, if you were in charge, Clayton? What would you do?
It's gonna take a lot of getting out of right now, and I feel like the best way to do it is to just do a lot of non-connected things, different stuff, really things. The Silent Echo special, that would have been a great start to the year because it would have been completely different. Then Deadpool. That's probably going to be good. I think we can say that Daredevil.
I can trust Sean Levy and Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds being part of that. It's got to be good. I'm not going to say that it's great at this point in time. I think it's just going to be good.
Yeah. See, then it's like I have no idea. They're fixing Daredevil. I think if Daredevil was good, like from like conception to writing, if that was coming out this year, then that would cover us for a year. I'd leave that blank. Just have Deadpool, Daredevil, Echo, maybe, I guess, if you did it right.
Yeah, that's I don't think Daredevil's coming out for a while.
But this is me writing it, okay? So if I wrote it, it wouldn't have been scrapped, and it would have come out this year. That's our 2024 lineup. Then the year after, I know that they want to do an Agatha show.
Well, that's meant to be coming out this year, apparently.
Did you see that it was also kind of meant to be like a musical? I say scrap that, fire everyone involved, and make it set in the 1600s like that What If episode. Have it as an Agatha origin story, and tie in Doctor Doom, alternate Doctor Doom, like what we wanted from What If. That's our lead up to Secret Wars. That allows the whole Kang situation to be avoided, because we can go straight from that into, I think it's Avengers 5, which was originally Kang Dynasty. If we
Yep.
open Avengers 5 with Doom showing up from the mystical past, which explains why he talks all Shakespearean, right? And
cool.
kills all of the Kangs, pretty
Yep.
much just taking over, becoming really cool. Even if that happens towards the end, if we did the Kang stuff for one movie, I know they fired Jonathan Majors, but if we had one movie of Kang, even if it's a recast Kang for a movie, to have the Avengers go up against Kang, get their asses kicked, because they have to lose that fight in order to go into Secret Wars.
Yep.
If, like, okay, so who's the team for that? Captain Marvel, Sam Wilson, Captain America, Spider-Man.
Yep. You got
Doctor
Spider-Man,
Strange, Hulk,
Doctor Strange,
team.
Hulk, Thor
Ant-Man
comes
and the
back.
Wasp are still there.
Yeah.
Thor and that are still back. She-Hulk, all of those guys come together, get their asses kicked by Kang. Which leads into them going, or Loki coming to them, being like, "Hey man, I got a way around this."
Loki's stuck.
Or does Loki? Well, but then I feel like Loki gets them to Battle World. I feel like that's the way that's going to happen. So I think either at the end of Avengers 5 or start of Avengers 6, we have the Loki basically gathering people to fight Doctor Doom in Battle World.
Well, he did that in the comics,
Avengers, yeah. So Kang kicks the shit out of the Avengers, and then Doctor Doom shows up, kicks the shit out of Kang, and then I think we go to X-Men and Fantastic Four, which should be completely their own thing. And then Secret Wars, which should just be like how the comic was, the original comic. Probably not the 2015 run. That's a bit too insane for a movie. If we did just kind of a weird combination of both Secret Wars runs, have the original sort of
Deadpool
storyline.
Secret Wars.
I've read, yeah. Well, that's just if Deadpool was there, which he will be there. So technically, it is super Secret Wars. But yeah, do that original 80s Secret Wars storyline, but just have multiple versions of characters show up, fight Doctor Doom, have everyone in that. There you go.
Yeah.
That's your setup for the next 7 years. You just do that, and you can work other projects around it. I know the animated shows, keep doing those because those are being good. Keep doing what you're doing with them. There's a bunch more other shows. I know like Moon Knight's getting a second season. I know She-Hulk I think is getting a second season as well. If that's done well, that could be cool. I can't remember what else was happening. Do you I'm
looking it up
right now.
So yeah, we got Deadpool 3.
Everything's been
we got
around,
Agatha. We've got the X-Men 97 animated show. We got Eyes of Wakanda, which is another animated show. We got the next Captain America film, which is Brave New World.
Oh, that's then we right.
Got Thunderbolts. We also have Blade. We have Armor Wars. Daredevil, Born Again. Ironheart is still a thing. Marvel Zombies, animated thing. Spider-Man 4, and then obviously the animated Spider-Man freshman year show, whenever that's coming out.
Okay. Yeah. That's the thing. I feel like all of those projects have promise. They just have to be done well. And the fact Marvel's firing entire creative teams is hopefully a good sign, but then it's also like they let Echo come out. So I really hope that they really hone down what they're doing. And if it's not working, they do something different. They scrap it. Do what they did with Daredevil. Say, it's not working. Do it different. Start again. I feel like that's the only way to do it. Do it well, because
that's Marvel the thing, because it seems to be it seems to be at this point in time where Marvel is for this year is actually kind of a good thing, because the only thing they have to worry about, because it's already been filmed and stuff like that, is Deadpool 3 and making sure that is marketed well and everything like that, and making sure it performs well and how the audience will and everything like that. Well, that's the Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy have pretty much like full creative control over this movie by the sounds of it, and they wouldn't have come back if they weren't going to have their way. It was simple as that. Ryan Reynolds wouldn't have come back. Hugh Jackman would not have come back as Wolverine for like a shit like Deadpool movie. So at this point in time, everything that's big and upcoming and stuff like that has not been filmed yet, because we just had the strikes and everything last year with the writers and actors and stuff like that. So I know even as well for Fantastic Four, the filming for that has been pushed back for quite some time as well. Well, they haven't started filming yet. So at this point in time, they could literally do what they want to do and kind of start fresh again. And this is like a good point you were saying. Yeah. At this point in time, if I was in charge of Marvel, I would be going back to how we all started this franchise out. Oh, way back in 2008. going
one
back
movie a year,
one movie a year, or maybe two movies a year. Keep their own stories at the moment and keeping them like self-retained.
Yeah.
Until we get to Secret Wars, and with Secret Wars, it already should be all right. Here's Doom. This is your next Thanos.
Here's everyone. Doom's gonna kill everyone. Yeah.
Doom just kills everyone. And then you just basically do a whole reboot of everything. It merges all the universes together into one, brings in the Fantastic Four, brings in the X-Men. And then from there, they can start a whole new phase of Marvel where you focus on these individual characters with their individual stories.
Hell yeah.
And they're kind of doing their own thing until late that you grow upon it again. So when the reboot happens, you just do like an X-Men movie. They don't tie into Avengers or anything like that. They just have literally their own movie. Same thing as Fantastic Four. Same thing as all the TV shows and stuff like that. They need to be their own self-contained stories. I feel like with Marvel and everything like that, they tried to do too much. Is that they're just like, you need to watch everything to understand everything.
That's insane. This is a whole universe. The characters themselves don't know everything. Like what they should do, keep things separate, but then also acknowledge that things are happening in the same universe. They're the same universe doesn't mean that they're connected. It's like an example I'd use is having Hawkeye show up in the first Thor movie. Something like that, where it's just like, in a Spider-Man 4, he runs into Daredevil for 10 minutes while fighting some dudes. Something like that it's just like, hey, we're in the same universe, we know each other, but this is my story, sort of thing. You know, it has to be separate. And they also don't need to connect because Secret Wars can bring everyone together like that.
Exactly.
I click my fingers. So they don't need to connect everything. Except maybe the Avengers stuff. I mean, I guess Captain America movie probably just ties straight into.
Well, that's the thing. I wouldn't be thinking about Avengers so much at the moment with everything going on and stuff like that. Like, obviously, I do Secret Wars.
Yeah, but we do have that.
That's literally about it.
Yeah, I do like the idea of the Avengers being the capstone to Kang, like that. However they do that, I don't know. Even if they bring in someone completely different to replace Kang that isn't Doom,
I would honestly, just like try to find some form of way to get rid of the Kang character right now, while they currently have not started filming anything yet. They know that they can probably recast. I, at the moment, think they should just completely scrap that character and just be like, introduce Doom in some form of way where he's just like, oh, you mean that guy that was going to terrorize your worlds? Yeah, I've already taken care of that problem. I'm the problem now.
Yeah.
And introducing Doom like that.
Yes, because, in the original Secret Wars comic, Doom kills Kang in like a split second. Kang is like the first one to die in that storyline, and it's just Doom shoots him and he dies. The end.
Yeah.
That's how it should be. Which I think is, even if we see the Council of Kangs in like a flashback, Doom's like, I blew those guys up, and we just see a big explosion killing all of the Kangs or something. Something like that
would honestly be great.
Works. Yeah, even if Doom is the villain for the next Avengers film. And that's
the thing. I want them to lose. The next Avengers film and everything that happens and stuff like that. They have to lose. And I mean in a more bigger way than like when the snap happened.
Infinity War. Yes, it needs to be insane because there is no Avengers team. As of right now, there's Avengers movies, but there's no team.
Yep.
There is no team because all of the members are spread out, lost, dead. So the next movie needs to be a group of people having to come together for necessity, like the first Avengers, and then getting their ass kicked like Infinity War, which is the best Avengers film because they lose. It makes the stakes that much higher. So if Sam Wilson's trying to hold everybody together with these people that he hasn't really met, or like even just knows of, it's like he knows Captain Marvel for about 2 minutes in the last film. Like people like She-Hulk can show up and be an Avengers member. He's never
this
met
is the
her.
thing.
Stuff
This
like
this has got me thinking now. Right, we don't do Kang Dynasty whatsoever. We completely scrap that Avengers film off.
Oh, okay.
And the next Avengers film that comes out is Secret Wars, because apparently even with Deadpool 3, Deadpool 3 is going to be a direct film directed directly to Secret Wars. Apparently that's its sequel film. according to the timeline of things at this point in time. But we just go straight into Secret Wars. This is going to be the only Avengers film that's going to come out in the next 5 to 10 years, where basically it starts off literally with Doom killing Kang, and then everyone's just like, oh shit type thing. But even to raise the stakes even more, he kills Thor. Because that would be, because Thor is at this point in time the OG player, the OG Avenger. That's the only one. Yeah. He's the strongest Avenger that's alive still, and everything like that. So what if Doom's just like, all right, you're dead too, Ooh. And then straight up the whole beginning of that first arc, everyone around him's like, he just killed Thor. Like, what the fuck are we supposed to do?
Yeah, yeah. Can you, or even do Secret Wars as a 2-parter instead of doing Kang Dynasty? Do Secret Wars Part 1, Secret Wars Part 2, and have the first half be the people coming together against Kang, but it opens in a similar way that Infinity War did with the Asgardian ship being attacked, but just have it with Doom killing, Thor and Love. Kill the kid as well. Can you imagine how, like, menacing it would have Doom to show up and kill a kid?
Yeah.
Like, like that's insane.
That would be insane.
Kid, then kills Thor. Like, Thor witnesses it, and then we're set up to how the hell are the Avengers going to deal with that? And then, it leads into Secret Wars. We can have the whole Molecule Man thing, or Beyonder, or however they want to do it.
But that's the thing. At this point in time, I feel like as an audience as well, and what more people want to see. And I'm very interested to see what everyone's thoughts is going to be on Deadpool 3. Because that's the thing. If Deadpool 3 does extremely well and everything like that, I would target that a lot more and do these more mature approach to these stories and everything like that. I would go more grittier with everything then. Because that's the thing. MCU has been around since 2008 now. People have grown since then. They're late teens going on 20s, stuff like that, and everything like that. And I think as well, we want to see our characters grow. We want to see these stories grow. We want to see a more dark approach to it all. And it's just like, why not? Why not just go all out and just be like, all right, we're taking a more serious tone with the MCU now.
Well, that doesn't even mean like more gory. Everything has to be R-rated, MA, yada yada. I mean, look at like the scarier parts of Multiverse of Madness, for example. That had some intense violence that can carry over, and combine that with like the grittiness of, say, a Daredevil show. Like, throw that into your Avengers films, because the comics are violent and gritty. There is blood in every Avengers comic that you pick up from the last 30 years. You know, people die in violent ways in comic books all the time. Superheroes is not, especially like Marvel, it's not a kid's thing. I mean, it is for kids, but it's also mature and violent, and it's got all of these elements, but it's also still got that spark of hope that the superhero comics bring. So it needs to raise the stakes, increase the tension, and improve the writing for the most part, which will just fix all of the issues. If the writing's good,
here's the thing.
It works no matter what.
If I was in charge and stuff like that, getting things done, the writers I would be getting at the moment to do a lot of the things is the guys that did Loki. Those guys, however, they know how the MCU works. They know how the comic book world works and everything like that. It
seems like they're doing that though, because he's penned for the next Avengers, right? So
at this point in time, unless they just like fire everyone again.
I hope not, because that's like the best decision they've made all year, is to put him in charge of that. So I feel like he could do it really well. And because he's the writer, I feel like they would include Loki as a catalyst for.
Well, that's the thing. They would go like on comic books a little bit, because obviously in the comic books, when Loki did do all that stuff that happened at the end of Loki season 2, he then came back and then got the new Avengers team together, because he was the Avenger Prime, whatever. That's right. And then it would be kind of funny to like actually really cool, because obviously the reason why the Avengers came together was to fight Loki. And then it would be like Loki coming to form the Avengers. Like, it comes full circle. Awesome. That would be cool. That would be cool.
Great. That's good storytelling. Like, there's man, do it properly, Marvel.
And he gets to see his brother as well. I want to see a scene, hopefully sometime soon, where we have Tom Hiddleston and Chris Hemsworth again, being like brother.
That could be the reason that Loki puts the team together. Is he witnesses Thor's death, so he goes to him. Even in Valhalla, like, Loki shows up to dead Thor, and he's like having a conversation with him, similar to what they did in Ragnarok with Odin, something like that between the two of them. And Loki's like, I guess I got to put a team together to deal with this guy now, sort of thing. And Thor's like, well, sucks I can't be on it, sort of thing, like that. And then Loki's like, well, maybe you can. And then we get alternate versions of characters for the Secret Wars Part 2. There you go. Thor core. No. There's definitely ways to do it, but I think that is enough for today. What do you say, Barry?
Oh, yes. We could definitely go on for hours talking about how we want to direct the MCU in all its ways and stuff like that. But yeah, at this point in time, I feel like they're in a very good position to put themselves into, because they do have an entire year, really, to get their shit in order before they start rolling with the big things and stuff like that. And that's the thing. Hopefully it is a good sign at the moment that they did get rid of the creative team of the upcoming Daredevil show and everything like that. And they're going back to hopefully more better stuff, like how the MCU was first introduced and stuff like that. And just not too much of it. Just not too much of it either. That's another big thing. I just feel like there's been way too much, and it's just like simple. Just bring us down a little bit. Yeah.
Can't have too much. Too much of a good thing.
Can't have too much. No.
Yeah. If you're going to make more, make it good.
Make it more, make it good. That's the tagline, and that's going to be it for another episode of Here on We Talk Film. So thanks for coming out, everyone. Thanks for checking us out. Obviously, yes, we'll be here again next week at the same time, same place, everywhere. Make sure to follow us on all the social medias, everywhere, all places now. So we'll catch you in the next podcast.